Hello, we are the Prospective Lawyer Group. My name is Amber Benton,
I am Samantha Baker.
I am Katie Regalia.
And I'm Amanda Lynn Peralta.
and we are going to be discussing a societal issue that presents itself all too often. We will be advocating for rehabilitation, not incarceration, within the capabilities of an attorney working against the restraints of a system that practices in mass incarceration. Angela Myers is a 27-year-old woman with a history of drug addiction and is a domestic violence survivor. She is on probation for a misdemeanor charge in which she was found guilty 18 months ago. She has violated her probation by testing positive for methamphetamine and is facing 12 months in prison. She has been offered a conditional plea bargain by the Office of the District Attorney, contingent on her successful completion of substance abuse treatment. She is currently out on her own reconnaissance, and we are serving as her legal representation. While she is hopeful, she fears that she will permanently lose custody of her children if she is sentenced to prison time. She is currently in a fragile mental state and claims that she continues to use in order to cope with the trauma of her history of abuse and the loss of her children. Angela understands that this is a pivotal time in her life and is ready to work towards recovery and rebuilding a life for her and her kids. Angela has left an abusive relationship with the father of her children, but is receiving threatening phone calls and text messages and fears for her and their safety. She has moved out of the family home and into the home of her mother, who has been free of substances for several years. Angela is the mother of 3 children, all currently in the custody of Child Protective Services. Her 2 children were taken from her custody for neglect, and her infant child was recently taken for testing positive for methamphetamine immediately after birth. Angela can potentially be reunified with her children if she graduates a 90-day substance abuse treatment program. Angela has been addicted to methamphetamine for 5 years. She began using after the death of her father, to whom she was very close. She sought counseling throughout her childhood for abuse she received at the hands of a close family member and the neglect of her mother, who unfortunately also had a history of substance abuse and suffered from severe mental illness. Angela's long history of child abuse has conditioned her to perceive the treatment she receives from her abuser as normal. However, she has expressed the desire to permanently sever this relationship and has requested our aid in doing so. Her significant other has threatened violence on Angela and her children if she files for legal custody and has a history of appearing at Angela's home and demanding entry before assaulting her, often in front of her children. Next, we will discuss valuable social work skills, social work practice skills manifested within law, relevant social work skills and ethical principles, and finally, potential ethical dilemmas.
As lawyers, it is helpful for us to utilize valuable social work skills. In Angela Myers' case, there are several factors to her need for assistance, these primarily being substance abuse problems, criminal charges for substance abuse, her children are in dependency court, and that she is in an abusive relationship. Some of these skills that we might use are relationship building. Angela has reasons to not trust government employees, especially since social workers removed her children from her home. Building a relationship of trust and collaboration is important for positive outcomes in the lawyer-client relationship. Warmth. Showing acceptance is part of using warmth as an interpersonal skill. Acceptance is a necessary trait for anyone working with substance abuse. Substance abuse is so often blame-focused on the individual. Finding someone who accepts your substance abuse and is willing to work with you is valuable. Interviewing is another valuable skill in any legal relationship. Being able to get evidence through interviewing is critical. Social work practice skills often manifest within the law. Some of these are advocating for clients by offering the best legal advice possible, serving as a broker by recommending and connecting clients to legal resources, creating and maintaining professional helping relationships, being able to problem solve and cope by finding the best way to represent my client. Having knowledge about diverse populations and groups of all sizes is also always important in the law practice. Additionally, having a knowledge and understanding of the law profession is important in practice as well as trial procedures. Providing services to represent the client in the best way possible is the most useful social work skill that manifests within law. Some relevant social work values and ethical principles are dignity and worth of a person. Angela's substance abuse issues have resulted in the loss of her children, jail sentences, and alienation from her family. However, long-term prison incarceration will not benefit her. She could potentially discontinue drug use and improve her quality of life with treatment. Importance of human relationships is also relevant. Angela is suffering from the loss of her children and is without valuable support systems. She would greatly benefit from reunification with her children and an immersion into family therapy in order to foster forgiveness and positive relationships. Lastly, social justice principles are always important. As attorneys, we will continually fight for social justice. Justice would not be served by putting a survivor in prison. This would be another failure of a system that has failed her repeatedly throughout her life in numerous aspects. In the legal profession, there are ethical dilemmas. Some potential ones for this case would be a dilemma of self-determination. Due to Angela's drug use and mental health condition, her agency in the matter has the potential to be compromised. An example solution for this would be constant communication with Angela that would be established in order to make sure she has as much agency as possible and that agency is honored through decisions being made throughout the case. Importance of human relationships is another potential dilemma. Rapport must be built with Angela as she will be sharing personal and intimate details about her life, such as substance use and abuse. However, this can lead to compromised efficacy through means such as countertransference. An example solution to this would be constant self-reflection and awareness of implicit biases that could potentially be triggering to Angela.
The intervention. Our intervention is